anybody wants to join in, let it process a few minutes up on the page. We are going to do a live interview. So if you'd like to join us, we would love that. You can ask us some questions or just listen and watch and contact later. But we'd love to support local and hope you'll join us and listen in.
Cool.
I'm going to just see if it's on my page and share it. Share it to a couple groups. Yay, it's there.
Awesome.
Share. All right, we'll share it to a couple pages, and then we'll just go for it. I think we have 6 people watching us.
Awesome. Hey, guys.
And like I said, if you want to join in and ask questions, feel free to comment. We will see them, and we will be able to hopefully get those answered for you. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. It's exciting. It's kind of a new adventure for me doing these lives, and just, with the times we're in, I'm like, what can I do to get back? And we have a decent following. So I said, all right, I need to get over my fears, start going live, and then doing these interviews. I don't know if you know it. I tried to do one like 2 weeks ago on Facebook, and I thought you could still like bring someone into a Facebook live. So I'm sitting there like struggling to bring someone in on the Facebook live. And then like 20 minutes later, I Google it and found out that they took that option off. So then that's how I found Be Live, because I was like, there has to be another option.
Right. This is my first time using it. It seems pretty smooth.
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's a nice option to be able to stream live and be able to still interact with people without having to look at the live, because if people comment, it should come up here on our side stream, which will be nice. Great. Yeah. Awesome. All right, well, we'll just jump in. So I'm Melissa, owner of Jacksonville Business Connections, and I've been I started that in 2012, and we've mostly been doing like community local events our mission is to share businesses into the community, kind of bridge that connection. And then doing these live interviews is just another way of kind of branching out into that. But I wanted to introduce Dr. Jon Dandridge. He is born and raised here in Jacksonville. He is a UNF alumni, a former professional athlete. That's cool. Husband and father of one beautiful 2-year-old girl, a linguist, and a chiropractor. And his business is AlignLife of Julington Creek, which is founded and started up this year, earlier in January. So it's freshly hatched.
Yeah.
And the mission: to see every man, woman, and child live their healthiest life possible, that can do things they love and pursue the goals they have in life. That's awesome. I love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So do you want to just jump in and share a little bit about the idea of your business, how you started it, got it off the ground?
Yeah, so I guess I should start many years ago. Like you said, I grew up here in Jacksonville. I played baseball at UNF, and really I dedicated the first 25 years of my life to sports and baseball. Once I decided that I needed to part ways with that and pursue other things, I had a big void in my life. I didn't know what to do. I needed to kind of rediscover myself after giving so much of myself to the sport, and did a few things. And after a few years, I came across chiropractic, and I was familiar with it because my parents always took me as a kid. But I didn't really know why. It was just one of those things that, mom and dad said, hey, get in the car or else, you're going to the chiropractor.
Right.
But, the more I thought about it and what role it played in my life, the more attractive it became, and the more attracted I was to it as a profession. So, it really helped me, with my athletic career, staying healthy. And I was fortunate enough to never really have an injury that prevented me from playing, and I have to attribute some of that to chiropractic for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I made the decision to do that and pursue chiropractic. I went to Sherman College up in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I was there for 4 years, and now came back to Jacksonville. And I'm just really excited to be back here in Florida, especially close to the ocean again. And there's no snow on the ground here and all those nice things. So it's great to be back here. I love Northeast Florida. I traveled a lot for my baseball during my baseball career, and I've never been tempted to really call another place home other than Florida, and more specifically Northeast Florida. So it's really nice to be here. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that one defining moment, though, that you knew, okay, chiropractic is the thing I want to do? Was there anything, or was it just like, okay, I think it's the next step?
Yeah, I think it was that realization that I had when I was thinking about what kind of role that it played in my life as an athlete, and I kind of made that connection, like, hey, this wasn't just some random thing that I did, periodically throughout my career. It was something that really helped me. I started to think about all my teammates and how a lot of them were some suffered from injuries, or where they were unable to play because of this or that. And I just never really experienced that. And like I said, I have to attribute that to my experience there, and going to chiropractic, being under chiropractic care regularly, just really helped me stay on top of my game. And then when I get to school, I realize, like, hey, you know what? This is not just for athletes; it's for really everyone.
Right.
And then from there, just my mind exploded. So with
right.
So it was good. It was good. I went there for I would say, like, kind of a small vision. I just made the decision with a small vision. Then when I went to school, my vision just exploded, which was really, really awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So with your business just opening this year, how has that been for you to, like, get that off the ground, get the word out? What kind of struggle?
This is such a cool experience. It's not easy, but I would really have it no other way. This is just, I'm learning a lot about myself, which is nice. And luckily I have a good team around me. I'm a part of a franchise, actually, that's nationwide. And so I have a great team around me that helps me with a lot of those decisions that I may make a rookie mistake on if I was left up to myself. So I got a great team that helps me with that. But just getting engaged in the community, being involved in Julington Creek area and Jacksonville, St. Johns County, just getting to learn about what's happening here and just plugging in, adding value where I can, has just been so much fun. So much fun.
Absolutely. And is there any specific struggle that made you at any point say, like, what am I doing, or am I going to be able to move forward from it?
Well, initially it was, the whole construction process was, it's just so out of your control that it can be frustrating at times. It can drag on. I have a great contractor who I played baseball with at UNF, actually, and he's still here in town. And he's my contractor who's doing the construction for me. So he's helped a ton. But there's so many other pieces of the puzzle. You got the county involved. You got this group and the architects and everything else. So it's just a lot of moving parts. So it got a little bumpy for a while. And then, of course, as we all know, everything that's happening now with COVID-19, that's quite an interesting
Yes.
interesting thing. I don't know. I'm still processing that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
The cool thing is, I will say this. The cool thing is, I feel so blessed to be a chiropractor at this point in history, because I really see in my clients and just in the general public that people are starting to think maybe more about what they're doing for themselves to strengthen them, their immune system, build some resiliency in the body, so that regardless of what's in our environment, they're better able to adapt to it and cope with it, whatever it may be, And so I think that's it's kind of stirred up an awakening, I would say. And so it's really nice, because that's what we as chiropractors focus on is, hey, what can we do to help improve your function as a human being? so that you can adapt to the stressors of life, whether those are physical, chemical, emotional, whatever they are. All those we adapt to those through our nervous system, and
Right.
that's what we focus on. So it's cool. I mean, I'm sensitive, of course, to everybody who's being impacted, both in their health and economically. But it's nice that I've kind of seen this awakening, I would say, in people's minds and hearts on, hey, what are we doing together to get stronger, build some resiliency in our system.
I've definitely seen that too. And
yeah.
So if someone was watching this and they were wondering more about if they need chiropractic or what that would look like if they came in to see you, what would you tell someone if you're giving them kind of a spiel?
Sure. Chiropractic's really for everyone. It's about life enhancement. I think there's a common misconception that chiropractic care is only for people with low back and neck pain, maybe some headaches, but and we do great work with that. And if you talk to anybody who's been under chiropractic care for any amount of time, they'll tell you, that they've had back pain resolved, neck pain resolved, etc. But really, what it's about is enhancing your the life enhancement. Like we live our whole lives through our nervous system, and when we have issues in our spine that create tension and irritation in our nervous system, that can impact us in a variety of ways. So it's more than that. What's cool to me is like when I have somebody come to me and say, hey, I'm here because my back hurts, and after a little bit of time, their back pain goes away, but then they also say, you know what, my kids, they stopped me in the hall the other day, Dr. Jon. They told me, hey, Mom, you know what? I don't know what you're doing, but please don't stop. So it's like her relationship with her children got better, because she was, I don't know, a better person. I don't know exactly how all that went, but her kids started to notice just her personality change, her emotional state changed. So all of these things can happen, and it's just awesome to watch that unfold when we see people get well.
Yeah, I have to say that I definitely am a firm believer. My daughter is 12 now, but when she was little, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 or whatever, she was getting the repetitive earaches.
Yeah.
And I think we did the doctor route at first, but I really am like very conscious of antibiotics and researching that the antibiotics could just make it come back and ruin your gut and all that stuff and just have it reoccurring. So I did research and also found out, that chiropractic could help. So I did bring her when she was little, and when she would get the earache, we'd go like 2 or 3 times in that week that she would have her earache. And they would do the 3, adjustments throughout the week, and it would relieve it. Then I think she only had like 1 more after that. We did the same thing when she had another one, went to a chiropractor. And since then, we've never put her on an antibiotic since. And she's she gets her normal flu, cold yearly, but we're very much kind of let your body heal itself, unless it was obviously to a point that it couldn't and it was dangerous. But fever's okay. Being miserable and sick is part of your body fighting the virus. So definitely am believer in all of that and keeping our body at a maximum health for it to do its work.
Keeping it functioning well, right? Yeah, that's awesome. That's you described that so beautifully.
And I think a lot of people aren't aware of like you said, the little things. It definitely for everybody, and it's also could be specific to an earache for kids, and I don't know if for the people who don't want to be on the antibiotics all the time, there is ways around that.
Right. Yeah, and it's people are starting to understand, hey, I'm taking this medication and it helps me temporarily, with a particular symptom, right? And there's definitely a time and a place for medications, absolutely 100%. But as a strategy for, wellness and improving the strength and resiliency of the body, I'm not sure where that fits in. I don't think it fits in really well. And like you were saying, the body is made to heal. The body is made to be healthy and to thrive, right? So the first option I would say is let's try and enhance that innate ability that it has already before we entertain other options, drugs, surgeries, these types of things, right? It just makes sense,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
We have an
absolutely.
incredible body. We all do. And it's capable of just doing just unbelievable things. And so, it's great. It's an awesome story that you have. And we hear a lot of stories like that, and we would never say, hey, look, chiropractors treat earaches or chiropractors treat, digestive problems or whatever. That's not what we do. We say, hey, look, you know what? Your body knows how to digest food, right?
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that ability, that capacity for your body to communicate with itself is completely free of interference. And when we do that, we see these things start to improve, whether it's an earache, a digestive problem, heartburn, whatever, you name it. So
Yeah.
it's cool. That's cool. That's awesome.
And I definitely think it's interesting. There's like extreme both ways, though. There's extreme people who don't want to hear anything about it. There's people who are super open to all that. And then there's the middle people who are kind of like starting to hear about it and maybe interested, but they're not sure. But, I've been on different forums and things where,
Yeah.
people ask, and I'd be like, oh, we did chiropractor for earaches. And then you get the people that are like, yeah, we totally believe in that. And then you get the people that are like, oh my gosh, we go straight to the doctor. I can't believe you don't go to a doctor. And
Right.
it's just very interesting, people's takes on. I have friends that their kids just get a sniffle or the flu and they're straight to the doctor like
Right.
every time. And I'm like, okay, we haven't been to the doctor in years. And I said, and one time I called and they told me it's been too long and we're not even like, we can't like be a part of their practice anymore
Oh,
because
wow.
they filled up, and it had been like 3 or 4 years since we'd been there.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
yeah, and it wasn't for it was actually a knee issue, which we did end up going to chiropractic for that too on top of it. But at that point, I don't remember why I was going to go to a doctor, but I know I did call and that's what they had told me. So I knew we hadn't been there in so long.
Yeah. Well, I would say that sounds pretty good. If you haven't had to go, if you haven't had an emergency,
No,
then
not
you're
at
doing
all.
something right, You're
Right.
doing something right. But yeah, that is true. There's a lot of there can be all sides of the spectrum, right? I see people who are really scared, who just don't want to hear anything about it. I think a lot of that has to do with us as a profession. We haven't done maybe a good job explaining really well what we do. So I think we have to take some responsibility there. But just a simple example that I like to use is, this is about maintenance, right? We know that we go to the dentist multiple times a year to maintain our teeth, just to maintain so we don't get any problems, right? And we do that at home. We brush our teeth multiple times a day. We maintain our hygiene, in various ways throughout the day so that we don't get problems, right? And it's the same thing. We just want to apply it to the spine,
Right.
Unfortunately, it's just in our back, so we don't see it every day when we wake up and in the mirror and all these fun things. So we don't tend to pay it much attention. But
Right.
the concept is the same. It's the same concept.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So with you just opening, what do you think like your main source of advertising has been?
I've spent most of my time just out in the community, meeting people. I'm a part of a BNI group. I'm a part of a Rotary Club. Um, I'm a part of the Chamber of Commerce. I've been to some of your events. Actually, no, I take that back. I was signed up for my very first one, and it got canceled. So
That's
I
awesome.
will be at your events. And thank you so much for putting that stuff on. This is awesome. It's awesome
Oh,
what
you're
you guys
welcome.
do over there. Yeah. So I look
Oh,
forward
yeah.
to participating there. And let's see, health fairs. I've been to some health fairs at corporations, which has been really fun. So anywhere and everywhere I can go to meet people and build relationships. I want to build relationships, right? Long
Yeah.
lasting, quality relationships where I can add value to someone's life who has a problem or an issue that I have a solution for. Plain and simple, It's easy.
So where have you seen the most actual leads come from?
For me, it's been that kind of one-to-one networking.
Okay.
I have a social media presence, but that is something that I'm in a franchise, so they handle a lot of that, which is nice. because I don't have the expertise to deal with it. But I think a lot of that takes time, and I'm building it up. You know, I'm building my material. I'm building, you know, all these assets that I can put online. But things like this and going to an event where I can meet 50 people in a few hours has been been the best for me so far.
Yeah, you'll have to check out. So with all these events being canceled, I have been head down researching virtual events. So I'm looking into doing virtual networking. So that might be something you're interested in. And then actually bringing a lot of our events into a virtual expo type trade show type environment. So
wow, that would be interesting.
Yeah, it's been interesting, all the research and tools I've been looking at, and I'm like overload on that, but I hope it helps people, because we're all stuck in the same situation. Like, we can't grow our business and get out there and do the things that we want to. So it's definitely been a tough time.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been involved in a few of these, you know, group chat type of events in the last few weeks, and takes some getting used to. You know, there's nothing that you can replace like just pure human interaction. So it's a little different, and it takes some getting used to. But yeah, it's a great opportunity and a great tool that we have to use for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything else that maybe I haven't asked or that you want to share?
I think we covered it. You know, I mean, I just, like I said, I'm here to build, you know, quality relationships. You know, that's what I'm about. I mean, I love what I do. I'm really, really passionate about that. And there's nothing that I like better than to be in the office and to see people's lives get changed. And it's an empowering thing, right? Like, so many people come in and they're just they don't have hope. They feel that they're broken and that they're deficient, and just they don't have anything that is going to allow them to achieve the goals that they have in life. And to take them from a place of you know, doubt and fear and you know, that state, and then bring them to an empowered state where they're like, hey, you know what, like, I'm awesome, you know, and I can heal, I can thrive, I can be strong, I can be well, and it comes from in here. To take them on that journey is just the coolest thing. So I'm living a dream, you know, and that sounds cliche, but I love doing it. And it's just awesome to watch unfold. So, you know, we are here to help with that.
So probably after we're done with the live, I'll go back and put some of your social media into the Facebook Live. So if people want to contact you, where are you actually, like, if people are familiar with Julington Creek, what kind of things where are you located?
Sure. It's right on the corner of 13 or San Jose Boulevard and Racetrack Road.
Okay.
So
right there.
In that, there's a circular complex with a pond in the middle. There's a post office here, La Nopalera, the Gate gas station. I think it's a Vito's Italian restaurant, seems to be really popular. So in that shopping center.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar. I think probably a lot of people are familiar with that area. So that's easy for them the easy location. Now, with everything going on, is your operation physically open?
So we are seeing clients, and actually the clinic that I have in this complex will be finished in a few weeks. So I'm still very, very new. It will be finished in a few weeks. I am seeing clients in a temporary location in the same shopping center.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's that. But yeah, you can find me on, you know, Facebook, the web, Instagram.
Okay, perfect. I'll add all those links into the live when we're done.
Cool.
I haven't seen any comments, so either the app's not working or there is no comments, one of the two.
That's good. That's good.
But I also will, I download the videos off Facebook. We do put it on Instagram, and we'll share all those links with you if you want any of those links. And then we also upload them to a couple of our directories too. So we'll share it around for you.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. That's a huge help.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a huge help. I appreciate that a lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Bye.